Welcome to Retirement Talk, the show that gives you wealth strategies that actually work. I'm Dan Benson, joined with me today, John Maxon, and today we're going to talk about 3 assumptions that will kill your retirement. So these are big ones, these are important. The topics are going to be relevant and things that everybody needs to know, whether you're young or even getting close to retirement. How do we properly plan for retirement and not take bad advice? And the first one, John, is I can't make a decision because there's so much conflicting advice out there. And I'll just to start real quick, the internet, Google, all these things, YouTube, even the videos like this that we're watching, there's a lot of people out there and they're talking about their opinions. And if you just get on a search engine and you start looking around for what should I do, you are going to get a lot of conflicting advice. And so we want to share with you today, we are retirement planners. We work with retirees. We have for over 25 years. So we have experience in this. We're not your neighbor hoping to give you what their opinion is. We've walked thousands of families into and through retirement. So we have some really good sound financial advice, even in the midst of all the noise out there and the conflict. One of the biggest mistakes is allowing too much information to cause you to not make any decisions at all.
Or it's kind of like the trend of the week or the trend of the year
Right.
that's out there too. You know, I did an interview recently, and the person who was doing the interviewing said to me, well, this is unprecedented. Well, you know, the same thing happened in 1999 when we had the tech stock bust. That was an unprecedented market downturn. And then the market recovered. And in 2008, we had the Lehman collapse. And then that was unprecedented. Then the market recovered. Then we had the European debt crisis. Then we had COVID. And now we've got a 40-year inflation problem with, amongst other things. The market is unprecedented. That happens. And so you would, to a certain degree, you want to tune out some of the noise because there are so many conflicting opinions. If you watch the TV, you'll find some person that's for something, and then 5 minutes later, someone else that's against that very same thing. You've got new trading platforms like Robinhood, which incidentally is probably not doing so good. They're shutting down offices and everything else, and then cryptocurrency came along, and everybody was going to be getting away from the US dollar, and they were going to be trading with cryptocurrency, and that's probably not going to happen. Not that crypto might not be around for a while. So how do you actually sort of, you know, work your way through the noise and get solid investment that's trusted advice and that works regardless of what's happening in the economy?
Well, and there's other things too, like these robo-advisors. You know, is there any merit to that? And while there may be merit to it, if you're close to retirement, you don't need to go out and try new things and wing it at this stage of life, right? There's no time for do-overs. I'm a big advocate in life, as I've learned a lot of hard lessons. When I have big decisions to make and there's a lot of conflicting advice, I want to go out and find some people that are really have the experience in that specific sector. And so seeking wise counsel, right? Don't do it on your own. Don't just trust people that you don't know. Go out, find people that you know that you can trust. What have they done well? Who have they talked to? And so find a trusted financial advisor. Failing to plan is planning to fail. And so you want to have a plan out there. And our advice is don't allow all the noise to cause you to not make any choices. You need to make a choice, but again, go out, seek the wise counsel, find people that have been there, done that you can rely on their expertise to guide you to make good decisions on your own.
The second one we want to talk about is this concept, assumptions people make, is that the government will take care of me. I've heard that. People come in, hey folks, the government can't even take care of itself. We've got a $31 trillion debt in this country. Politicians all the way back to when Moses built the ark, or when Noah, see, I got to get that right. When Noah built the ark,
That's right? Yeah.
Have been saying they're going to deal with the national debt, but yet it keeps climbing. If they can't take care of their own budget, they're probably not going to take care of yours. So the government is not going to be there to take care of you. So you want to make sure that you're looking at things like Social Security, how are you maximizing that? That is a government program, but it's not really a government program in the sense that it's some sort of an entitlement. I hate that. I hate when politicians say that Social Security is an entitlement program, because it's not. You paid into that your entire life, so saying you're entitled to the money you put in is just the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. So you probably can't trust the government to handle your budget if they can't even handle their own.
Right, and it's not going to be enough. The average Social Security check is around $1,500 a month, and so just relying on that, and then Medicaid even. Medicaid is for people with very little assets. It's out there. A lot of people need it, but it's not the best of resources available. So don't just rely on the government to take care of you. Take care of yourself. Plan well, be smart. And believing the number 3, that it's too late to start, is also a big mistake. It's never too late to begin. The best time to start is when you're younger. If you have the ability and you've been taught well and you can start at 20, 30 years old to start planning for retirement, that's great. So many families, though, when they get into their late 20s and 30s, they start having kids. And those kids are expensive, and running a household is expensive, and there's really just not a lot of money to go around. I've met a lot of folks that have told me, Dan, I wasn't able to start saving until my late 40s, early 50s. And because then the kids are out of the house, the expenses go down, you got some debts paid down, right? So now all of a sudden there's a lot of free cash there. And being smart with that, even in a short period of time, 10 or 15 years, I've seen people be able to save upwards of, a few $1 million over a 10 or 15 year window, even with that short a time frame. So don't get sucked into believing that it's too late. It's never too late. And the way I would look at it is, if you think it's too late today, how long do you really want to work? If you don't start planning now, when's the end game? And so you want to start planning as soon as you can, but if you feel like you're late, you're not. Late would be tomorrow, right? Start planning today.
Well, there's a saying that wherever you're at, right? So whatever point in life you're at, that's where you're at. And so you've got to start somewhere. Not planning, regardless of your age and where you're at, is not a plan. Well, it kind of is a plan. It's just not a very good plan. And I think when you talk about building towards retirement, assuming that you're not going to need guaranteed income, in our view, is a big mistake. The boomers are now retiring like 70 million approximately in America, almost 10,000 a day. The number one concern or fear that's really driving that demographic is, will I have enough money? Their parents didn't worry about money because they had Social Security that actually got a cost of living adjustment raise each and every year, or most years. And they had pensions. If they had money and savings, it was probably in a bank actually earning something that kept up with inflation. So now pensions have gone away. So one of the questions that you want to ask yourself is, how are you going to produce your income in retirement, where if the market is crazy and we're in volatile years like we're in right now, how are you going to get income without setting yourself back or making decisions on your investments, like selling securities when they're low, without compromising your lifestyle?
That's right. And there's a lot of choices out there for providing income from bonds, treasuries, even annuities can provide great predictable income over your retirement. And so most importantly, just don't focus on the past, that you're not where you thought you were going to be. You still have time. Even a lot of the retirement accounts out there allow you to have these what's called catch-up provisions that allow more money to be saved into them in those later years. And so again, the 3 assumptions: don't allow too much information or conflicting information to cause you from getting good advice. Seek the wise counsel. Government's going to take care of you. Don't believe that for a second. You need to take care of yourself. Plan for yourself. If you get a little extra help from the government, that's great, but be able to take care of yourself first. And then, it's too late for me to start now. It's never too late to start. Again, too late would be tomorrow. Start looking at this today.
Yep. Well, folks, thanks for watching our show. Be sure to subscribe to our latest episodes at retirementtalk.com.